The UFC tried to make this fight twice. Twice it fell apart. Pulled, delayed, scrapped from the card. Then the third attempt finally happens, and just minutes later, Brandon Royval is lying unconscious on the canvas. Not rocked, not slowly broken down, just completely shut off. Minnel Cap just did something almost nobody expected. He became the first fighter ever to truly knock Royval out. Clean, brutal, no excuses. And this isn't just a fight recap, this is the story of how one moment threw an entire division into chaos. Because suddenly, nothing feels settled anymore. Who gets the next title shot? Did Tatsuro Taira just get jumped in line? And are we watching a real power shift in the flyweight division happen in real time? Royval had been a constant for years, a veteran, a proven war machine, a name you weren't supposed to erase. And yet it was Minnel Cap who dropped him in round 1, followed him to the ground, and finished the job. Why this knockout means more than just a win, why it felt so final, and why flyweight is better, but also more dangerous than it's ever been. That's what this is about. And the craziest part? This probably isn't the end, it's the beginning. Because let's be honest, Royval isn't someone you just knock out. This guy fought his way through the toughest matchups the division has to offer. He took damage that would have ended other careers. Pantoja, Moreno, Kai Kara France, Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira. Royval didn't survive those fights. He fought through them, but that kind of life comes with a cost. Those wars are exciting, no doubt, but they leave marks. Not right away, until one day they do. Royval had been dropped before, just never like this, never unconscious, never with no excuse attached. And across from him was Minnel Cap. Fewer wars, less chaos, a lot more control. Cap isn't reckless. He's patient, calculated, technically disciplined. While Royval kept testing his chin, Cap learned how to punish moments exactly like this. That's the difference between being entertaining and being dangerous. Yes, Royval was stopped by Moreno years ago, but that was injury related. This wasn't. No slip, no fluke, no limitation. Cap dropped him, followed him down, and briefly shut him off with ground and pound. That doesn't happen by accident. That's wear and tear meeting precision, and that's why this knockout felt so final. What's wild is that it didn't start with a punch. It started with a movement. Royval retreats, not on an angle, not cleanly out, straight sideways, right into the corner. That's the moment Cap commits. Cap steps forward fast, controlled, no hesitation. Royval chooses to stay and trade. That was the mistake. While Cap stays compact, Royval loads up a wide left straight, elbow flares high, the punch gets long, slow, predictable. You don't get that kind of time against Minnel Cap. Cap is already there. Short shot, explosive, right on the chin. Royval drops. Cap follows immediately. A few clean shots, and Royval is out. Herb Dean steps in. Good stoppage. Fight over. And this wasn't luck. Cap had been reading Royval the entire time, with feints, with pressure, with patience. He knew Royval kept drifting left, kept giving ground, kept backing himself into trouble. Once he saw it again, Cap went all in. Stance switch, cage cut, finish. Technique beats chaos. Timing beats courage. Patience beats experience. And the real damage from that moment came afterward. Because with that knockout, Minnel Cap shook something that looked settled. The title picture. Not long ago, it felt clear. Tatsuro Taira, young, consistent, first man to ever finish Brandon Moreno. That felt like a signed contract. Then this happens. While Taira makes history, Cap becomes the first man to truly knock Royval out. Now the UFC has to think, not when does Taira get his shot, but can we really ignore Minnel Cap? Cap has momentum. Cap has the more violent finish. Cap brings exactly what the UFC loves. But Taira is reliable. He makes weight, he shows up, he delivers. Cap has question marks. Missed weight. Pulled out before. And we all know how the UFC thinks. Still, and from a pure fighting standpoint, Cap looks terrifying right now. And then there's Joshua Van. Suddenly it's not one contender, it's not two, it's three. Flyweight doesn't feel the same anymore. The old pillars aren't being eased out, they're being pushed aside. Outside of the main event, yeah, a lot of the card could have been skipped, but a few moments stood out. Kevin Falhus, pressure forward, Giga Chikadze backing up, straight into a spinning back fist. Chaos, elbows, lights out, Mel Costa, one head kick, fight done. Bobby Green with a vintage performance, pressure, trash talk, slick combinations, and then the completely unexpected moment, the heavyweight Diaz brother. Steven Espinoza throwing what felt like 300 punches in a round and a half and scoring a TKO. Not pretty, not perfect, but insanely entertaining. Those are the moments people remember. At the end of the day, this wasn't just another UFC card, it was a message. The flyweight division is changing right in front of us. Faster, sharper, more unpredictable. Minnel Cap is suddenly in the title mix. Taira is waiting. Joshua Van is right there. And the UFC decides who gets the next shot at gold. If you enjoy this kind of breakdown, real MMA talk, no fake hype, no fanboy nonsense, make sure to like, follow the channel, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because whatever comes next has everything to do with the UFC. Fighters trying to change everything. And moments you won't believe when they happen.